Hello everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. And today we are going to be talking about cheap knives. And in specific, the knives that inspired me to do this video are these two right here. These are some Mossy oak knives. These came in a double pack, blister pack type deal. I picked these up at a feed store. Yeah. So, let's treat this like a review. So let's go ahead and take one away. Let's bring out our size comparisons. Start out with our rats. We'll put the bigger guy on the bottom. So there it is compared to those. About rat 2 size in length. A little bit taller though. Let's bring out some Civivis. About Elementum size. As you can see, he has this very, very large ramped clip that's like a rocket ship trying to take off, but I don't think it's throwing off the angles too bad. Here he is against BM2 and a bug out. We're going to get through these pretty fast. Let's go ahead and end with our paraframes. Where's the other one? There he is. Ta-da! So, let's get these out of the way. Let's talk about this knife a little bit. So as you can see here, we have a Tanto blade made out of stainless steel. There's no specification on what type of stainless steel. And these actually, admittedly, interesting micarta handles. And these are actually micarta. I think you can see on this other one better. As you can see on this one. Yeah, right there. You see that fluffiness? So it is actually micarta. I think it's a micarta G10 mix. So that's pretty cool. You have thumb studs and a flipper. Thumb studs actually work good. Flipper, not so much. They are on ball bearings. You can kick them out with just a little flip of your wrist. But yeah. So I got the pack of these guys. I think it was $10. So we'll call each of these a $5 knife. And yeah, I think you can already see some of the issues we're going to be running into here. But let's go ahead and talk about those issues. Okay, so to do our little evaluation, let's just start off with some basics. Let's see how well they cut paper. I grab this piece of paper here that I've had. Let's see, this one just gets awkward under camera. So we don't want the serrated edge. Alright, so on this one, the Tanto tip seems to be sharpened a little bit better than the rest of it. Let's try on this guy. Sharper than the other one, but it's not really saying much. Let's try the Tanto portion. That Tanto portion is not as sharp. Okay. And I mean, just for comparison, Civivi Riffle, by the way. Get this here in frame. Yeah. And heck, this guy's even a little rough right now because he's been seeing some pretty heavy use. But anyways, so sharpness out of the, not out of the box, but out of the plastic, not that great. As you can see here, we have a combo edge, which, I mean, if you're not going to sharpen your knife great, you might as well give a combo edge. It might hold, you know, might provide some cutting power for a little bit longer. Although, let's get in one of these big serrations. And the serrations aren't that sharp either. But, okay, whatever. So, next thing I want to talk about. See this mark on this one's blade? Right there. Where did that come from? Listen, tell me if you can hear. Just for comparison, let's get this other one. Yeah, that mark is actually because, let's look down the sights here, so to say. Yeah, this guy is so off-center, he's rubbing this other side. In fact, look what we can do with the blade here. And that means, when it's open, significant blade play. Like, this isn't blade play, this is blade dance. That's not good. So yeah, let's look at this other guy. So as you can see, he is off center to the other side, but he's not quite touching, which is good. Yeah, let's talk about actions real quick. So very light detents. They do have ball bearings. The thumb stud on this guy works fairly decently. Flipper, push button. Hey, it actually almost came out that time. See if I can actually get it to... And not quite. And then light switch. Hey, I got to do it that time. Huh. But not. Okay, let's see if I can do that again. Yeah, if you give it enough force, it'll do it. Let's see about this guy, but that might just be because this one's so loose. Let's see about this guy. Actually, first, blade play. Oof. Just a little bit, but yeah, do you see that other issue? So, okay, so, flipper. He's a little tighter in the pivot than the other one. Thumb stud, the detent works good for thumb studs. And reverse flick, because it's light, when it locked out that time. But yeah, let's look at the lockup on this one. That is what I would call kind of lockup. That's that, like, what? 3%? Drop my flashlight, geez. Let's see here. It's holding, but as you've been able to tell earlier in the video, sometimes... held that time too. Maybe I've just found the magic. Still, to look at that lockup, that eesh. Anyway, sometimes, point is, it does not lock up. So, I think what we're going to do now is take these guys apart and see if we can fix some of their issues. Or I guess before we do that, we'll go into some things that, well, let's talk about the pocket clips real quick, actually. Tip down, which a lot of people don't like. I don't like tip down on a flipper either because, especially if this is on the right side, I would actually consider this left-handed carry because the blade is up against the back of your pocket and can't open. Like this, you're carrying it in your right pocket. Something you hit the flipper tab and open it in your pocket. But the clips are just... Well, my camera cut out, so I guess it's telling me that I just need to go ahead and get onto the disassembly. So let's go ahead and do that. Move some stuff here around. Alright, so I bet we're looking at T8s on the pivots and T6s everywhere else. Let's take apart the guy that's scratching on the other side. Yeah. Ooh. That just feels awful. I will say, to their credit, yuck, this material here actually isn't bad. I would like to see that on another knife. Maybe that's pretty cool. It's an interesting color. I bet these are going to be free spinning. They're not. Well, well, well. May wonders never cease. This one is. See if I can just brute force it out of there. Stop pin just fell out. That's nice. Stop pin, you stay over there. Fine, I'll put you in my tray. No, you're not really worth going in there. Okay, so we're probably going to have to get another bit to go on that other side so that I can actually take it out. Oop, or the screw just strips out. Okay, real quick, let's just see if these other ones will come out on this other knife. Ugh. Yuck, what is that? It's Loctite, but man, that's a lot of it, and it's yuck. It's got stuff all over my table. Disgusting. And is this going to be free spin? No. Alright, we'll get this guy apart at least. Maybe we'll see if we can improve him. So this is for this other one. We'll just get his scraps out of here. Watch though, this guy, the pivot. Yuck. It's leaving junk all over the place. And is this pivot going to give us problems? Oh wow, that's weird. It's like pushing the knife apart instead of pulling it. Okay, was I wrong about these having bearing? Whoa. Interesting. I thought it said these things had bearings. What is holding you together? Oh my goodness gracious. How is this staying together? Yikes. Okay. I guess I was wrong. I guess these don't have bearings. These just have Teflon. I thought the packaging said they had bearings. Huh. Wow, that is... It has a D-shaped pivot. Interesting. Where'd my flashlight go? Focus. Yeah, D-shaped pivot. But, oh yeah, there's a little D-shaped indentation on that side. Okay. Okay. Let's put them back together and see if we can get him to work like an actual knife. And we're back. How did I do? Well, I got them back together. I put the pot clip back on, but I did take the clip off. It was much better ergonomically and just everything. Lubed him up. Could not recenter him. The blade itself might even be crooked. Worked the action out pretty good, and I got to start locking up. Kind of. Let's look in there again. Not the best lockup. In fact, the lock surface on the blade actually looked kind of burned. Like, you know, they're hardening it and just, I don't know. But yeah, it's smooth. No blade play now. At all. Got some lock stick. But still don't trust that lock 100%. So this brings us to the part of the video that's not really a review. And we're going to be talking about cheap knives versus expensive knives. So, there's something that I've certainly heard a lot. I'm sure if you're a knife enthusiast, you've heard it a lot. And if you're someone watching this video who just kind of came out of nowhere, well, first of all, welcome. But the thing a lot of people say is you don't need to spend more than a few bucks on something that you keep in your pocket and pull out to cut things. And I disagree with that in every way. For example, look at these two knives here. This guy, and let's bring out his brother. Well, I kind of think that illustrates the point I was going to make. You don't know why that stop pin didn't go back in right. Okay, whatever. So, these were both awful out of the packaging. And this guy, I fixed up kind of, but still. Would you really want to be using a sharp instrument that you can't trust the lock on? Because I certainly do not trust this lock. I mean, let's bring out a knife that has a good lockup. So if we can get some light down on this guy, he's a lot darker. Yeah. It's always, and I mean especially, let's grab a frame lock. Yeah, that's, it's not going anywhere. So, just from a safety perspective, these guys take some pretty hard hits. Especially when things like that just happened. And yes, I took this guy out of the packaging. I was able to fix him up and make him a little bit better. But you shouldn't have to tune your knife to make it an okay tool after you get it. You really shouldn't. You should pull it out of the packaging and be able to use it just the way it is. Oh, boy. And then, of course, you have, this failure here. There is a difference in, I mean, besides talking about, people go on and on about steels. Well, you don't need edge retention. You just need something you can sharpen. If you can put an edge on it, you'll be good to go. Just carry a sharpener with you to work, and when it goes dull, strop it up or give it a couple pulls across a stone and you'll be good. And sure, fine. I don't argue with that argument because, yeah, some people just like to sharpen their knife every 5 minutes. Go for it. But build quality, too. Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot to be said for pride of ownership, which I'm a person that uses my knives. My knives, I don't have any safe queens. If I have a knife, there's a chance that it's going to get used. That's just the way it is. But I take pride in knowing that the tool I'm using is good. And that does actually mean a lot to me, and I'm not sure about other people, but, it feels good to pull something in your pocket and be like, oh yeah, I'm ready for whatever the day throws at me. I'm ready to do this task. However, even with all that being said, I don't think you have to spend a lot of money to get something good. So these, we'll call these $5 a piece, right? We'll call them $5 a piece. If you throw in, let's say, $15 more, what can you? Let's ask, what can you get with $20? Well, with $20, you're in the range of some pretty good tools. You can get stuff like, CRKT squid. Get things like, for about 25 or 30. QSP Penguin. This is about 20 bucks exactly. This is the Ganzo FH. Oh, not FH anything. It's not a Firebird. This is just the Ganzo F750. Sorry. That's a pretty good knife right there. And also, I mean, I will bring this up just because at Walmart for between $3 and $5. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. You can get Ozark Trail knives. I mean, they don't have the best quality steel, but I mean, this knife here, there's no blade play. It was pretty good out of the box. I don't think I've used this guy very much recently. I'm not sure if I sharpened him ever in like a year, but let's see. Yeah, I have not sharpened this guy. This is a knife I did carry about 2 years ago. But, yeah. This is a completely fine knife. However, you do get more if you step up in price a little bit. And, you know, within your $30 to $40 range, you've got stuff like your Rats. These are fantastic knives. Great knives for literally any situation or anybody. Yeah, let's create a Rat. Let's say you wanted to step up into the, well, I mean, heck, let's not even leave there. This I got for 25 bucks. This is the Kuby Flash. It's big and comfortable. D2 blade steel, G10, good build quality. It's a liner lock with just a stupid good action. I need to review this guy, actually. Maybe I'll review this guy, because I've had him for a while. Anyways, getting off topic. That's a good knife to get. You don't have to spend $200 to get a good knife. You do get more, usually, when you're spending that much. But, I mean, heck, let's talk about Civivi. This is the Praxis, $42. The Elementum, $50. The Riffle, $55. If you toss in just a $50 bill, if you have a $50 bill, you can get you a knife that will work for a long time and will actually, you know, make you feel good about carrying it. This, I'm sorry, I just don't feel good carrying this. When I pull this out of my pocket to cut something, I wouldn't feel good about it. I just wouldn't. However, if I've got to cut something, I pull the Praxis out of my pocket, yeah, you better believe I'm feeling good. Or the Element, any one of these are good. Heck, Best Tech makes great knives in that $50 range. The point is that there's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of good stuff. Without having to, you know, save up a whole lot. So, these are two very bad knives. Are there knives that I think are worthwhile in this kind of price category? Let's say between $5 and $10. Yeah, I think you can actually get a good knife in that price. For, you know, $5 to $10, you can get stuff like, in fact, I think some of the best knives you can get in that price category are things like your Schrade old-timer knives. This knife here, there's no blade play or anything. It's a lock back, very, very strong lock. The steel isn't anything to brag about. The ergos are good. There's no pocket clip or anything, but this is a good knife to just toss in your pocket and use. And, you know, you don't have a whole lot of money in it, so if you lose it, it's not a big deal. Staying on the old-timer train, you know, they're traditionals. As you can see, this is a knife that I use this sometimes. I think this costs $7. It's perfectly fine knife. You might prefer something with a lock, or you might prefer something like this. Who knows? Very easy steels to work with, and just simple and good. And I already mentioned the Ozark Trail knives. Yeah, although sometimes these can be a little hit or miss. I have had some bad Ozark Trail knives, but there are good stuff. There are good things in that category. This is more in the $20 group, but stuff like your Victorinoxes are really nice. This here's the Pioneer. I really enjoy this knife a whole lot. But yeah. So, I'm going to wrap it up there. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube talking about, oh, well, your S35VN is so much better than your, I don't know, 7CR13s and your D2s, whatever. There's a whole lot of talks about steel and materials. But I wanted to just kind of focus this video on build quality / just kind of safety and why I think people should carry knives that are well made. And you don't have to spend that much to get a knife that's exceptionally well made. Again, I'm just going to bring up, if you're new to the knife world, get a Civivi. Great action, great performance on the blades, great materials, and they're made very, very well. If I were to go up to a random person on the street and say, hey, you're going to get a free pocket knife today. Which one do you want? And I'll hand them both to them, and they'll go, oh, well, that was a little bit weird. Oh, man. And they'll hold them, and they'll say, oh, this one's much more comfortable. I'll take this one. Go up to someone who, because let's be honest here, I know a lot of people who carry knives like this, and they don't really know what they're missing out on. They cut themselves, the knife falls apart, and they throw it away, and they just get another one. Hand them something like this, and just you'll open their eyes to a whole new world of knives. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Get in and out.